Welcome to the Friday Main Event Top 10. This is Class 5A edition. This is the third video in our series of 3 videos revolving around Class 5A. We've had region preview shows for regions 1 through 4, 5 through 8, and now, Lee, this is our Top 10 show. And like most Top 10s, this one was tough.
Oh, yeah.
Tough to pick. But we feel pretty confident in our first 4 or 5 picks. But beyond that, it was a tough go. And, Lee, at number 1, we've got a team that was in the semifinals last year. We like the Beach Buccaneers for several reasons. One, they've got a lot of really good talented players back. They got a couple of really solid running backs in Jaysean Parks and Tyshawn Jefferson.
Correct.
I like the Buccaneers, but I think probably the thing that I like about the Buccaneers more than anything, Lee, and we talked about this in the before we started the video, Anthony Crabtree.
Yeah, Coach Crabtree's a winner. 126-49 in 14 seasons there. Got a ton of talent coming back. 8 returners on offense, 7 on defense. One thing that I do like about Beach is if you look at their schedule, they have at Hendersonville, at Lebanon, and Station Camp. There's a couple 6A squads there to try to test you a little bit. That Beach Hendersonville is a big rivalry game too.
Mm-hmm. And you're leaving out another non-region game,
Henry County, which is a big ball game. It's turned into a big ball game, regular season game.
Right.
I like Beach at the 1. I just like Coach Crabtree. I like what he's doing, and I think he's got the personnel this year to do it.
He's got a veteran staff, seasoned staff. They're no stranger to deep runs in the postseason.
Right.
I think that's always a benefit when you know how to respond to adversity when you get in that quarterfinal, semifinal round. Having a staff that's been there and knows what it takes, I think, is always an edge.
Right.
When you're talking about a talented team. At number 2, we got the defending state title winners, Knoxville Central. I think Coach Rosser has another really great team. He's got a lot of preseason all-state players. He's got Dakota Favre leading that offense, Lee. Like you said in the region rundown, very heady quarterback. He doesn't make many mistakes. He had 27 TDs versus 6 interceptions. He's not going to beat you.
That's right. He's a heads-up ball player. Coach Rosser sitting pretty at the 2 spot. Could very well end up back there.
And I talked about that when we talked about Henry County, Lee. That defense, very impressive. Held Henry County to 130-something yards total offense in that championship game. I think the Bobcats look good on both sides of the ball, and that's I would put them as a leading contender, I think, on that east side of the bracket to return to Cookeville.
I think you're right.
So, Lee, moving on down, our third-place team is a team that was in Cookeville last year against this Central team, and that's the Patriots. James Count's team, 13-2, 6-0 in region play. They did fall to Knox Central, 14-9 that title game. But, Lee, I like what you had to say about that. That rain delay and the kids had to get all hyped up. Long rain delay and coming back the next day. It had to be rough on them.
I think so. I think that played a big part in how they performed in the title game. But I fully expect them to be right back in the hunt this year, especially with Jalen Foster and Joe Travis back. Henry County has no shortage of talent. DeQuan Kendall's an athlete that's coming back there that's a pretty good ball player. It's an interesting game for me for Henry County's Brentwood.
Yeah, that should be a real good matchup, no doubt. I think potentially both of those teams make deep runs. So a very talented squad. Yeah. Coach Crawford, friend of ours, good friend of the show. He's always got his teams well prepared. So you got 2 programs with a lot of rich history going against each other in a non-region game. Yeah, Lee, I like that as well. That could be a good indicator as to how good this Patriot squad is going to be.
That's right.
But, I like Henry County. I think that's a good spot for them, third. I like Powell, the Powell Panthers, Lee Teat. We mentioned in the region rundown, Matt Lowe. We talked to him back in the spring. He's as excited about this team as any team he's ever coached, and he's had some good programs, good teams there at Powell. So I like them at the 4 spot. Of course, he's 2-8 in his first year back at Powell because they had to forfeit a lot of games
Right.
last year. But on the field, a very good, very impressive team. They've been tearing up, my understanding anyway, they've been tearing up to 7-on-7 tournaments. What's your thoughts on Powell?
I think they're going to be in the hunt out of the East. They got got Greenville at home. They got Anderson County at home out of region. That's going to make you tougher. Kid to look out for, man, just a freshman for Powell, Jordan Potts, athlete. I think he'll make some noise this year. And then he's got 2 preseason All-State offensive and defensive linemen. That don't hurt any either.
That's right. In that, talking about the non-region league, they're in that tough Region 3. Again, we talked about with Oak Ridge and Fulton, really in Knox West, really, really tough region. If you can get through those region games injury-free, you got to like whoever comes out of that region,
Right,
you got to like them to advance deep into the playoffs. And speaking of Region 3,
Right.
Our 5th place team we've got right behind Powell, we got Oak Ridge, and again, that's, as we talked about in the rundown league, there's not a clear favorite in that region. I mean, we had to put somebody at 4 and we had to put somebody at 5. I would be comfortable flipping them. I mean,
That's
it's
right.
either way. They're that close talent-wise. Joe Gaddis' squad, if they can run through that gauntlet of Region 3, I like them to advance and potentially play Central, in that semifinal game. So tough region, but Joe Gaddis, 7 starters back on offense, 6 on defense. Hardin Valley, Dobbins Bennett, a very good Farragut team. And an interesting game to me, Lee Teat, Oak Ridge ventures over here to the Mid-State and plays at Mount Juliet. I think that'll be an interesting game.
That'll be a really good game.
We may have to put that on the schedule, brother. I've been kind of looking at it. I've been eyeballing that. And that week, I don't remember exactly which week it is, but I do remember there was a lot of very important games that week. So
Right.
we may have to sit down and have a discussion before that week happens. But I like Oak Ridge at number 5. Number 6, Lee, and no stranger to top 10s, Maurice Fitzgerald and his Hillsboro bunch, 9-4 last year. They fell to region rival Beach in the rematch, 20-19. Really good.
Quarterfinals.
Yeah, in the quarterfinals, really good game. I like Hillsboro.
I do too, and I like Brian Covington, tailback there. I think he gets it done. The thing about Hillsboro that always kind of misleads people, they start slow.
Yeah.
Coach Fitzgerald's teams are always seem like they're peaking at the right time going into the playoffs.
That's right.
And when you're getting tested at Cane Ridge, at Pearl Cone, at Innsworth, they seems the records are sometimes misleading, but I like the Burros too at the 6th spot.
That's a good point. I think they lost that one region loss last year. It was a Gallatin. It was early. I think it was a week 2 loss. I think if they'd caught Gallatin later in the season, it would have been a whole different ball game. And that was the only, like we said, the only region loss they had was Gallatin. But it was early, and for whatever reason, I don't know why, they don't seem to be, at top level entering the season. But I think, didn't they have some issues last year with not having a home field? Does that ring a bell?
Yeah, I think they might have played them away.
Yeah,
a lot of away games.
I think their field was. I may be totally off base,
No,
but for some reason I'm thinking
right.
Hillsboro didn't have any home games last year, and that may have factored into that slow early start. Because I don't know where they were practicing that preseason. But anyway, Lee, I'm rambling a little bit as I tend to do, but I really like Hillsboro a lot at 6. I think they challenge for that Region 6 title with Beach. South Doyle is a team. I kind of get a sense. I'm kind of feeding off you a little bit. I think you might be a little high. I think I'm a little high here with this pick. But man, I'm going with my Coach T chatter, and there's a lot of Coach T chatter about South Doyle, and they've done really well. Clark Duncan's team, 10 starters back on offense, 9 on defense, Lee, and they got Mason Bragg back at quarterback. He's a 3-year starter, and they got a maybe the best tailback in the state, and Elijah Young, who is committed to Missouri. He had offers from practically every SEC school, including Tennessee. So if they can keep him healthy, I really like the Cherokees.
I do too. Anytime you got 10 coming back on offense, that's a good thing. And a lot of them are been playing for years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, you
think I'm high?
I think a little. I personally, I do, but I could see them. Heck, like you said, they got all those kids coming back, all state.
Yeah.
You know,
I think they'll fight with Central, man. I know Central dominated them last year, but I think they'll contend with Central there in Region 2. Lee, at number 8 spot, we got David Crockett, the Region 1 champs. They lost a lot. They only have 3 starters back on offense, Lee, but look at who they got back, you know.
Right. That's one team I probably would have had in front of South Dole. My personal self is David Crockett because of Larkins.
Right.
Kid threw for 4,000 yards and 42 TDs last year. And then you got
human highlight reel, isn't he?
Donta Hackler, the 6'4", 200-pound wideout that he's throwing the ball to. But I like him. 7, 8 spots. That's about right, probably.
You go along with that?
Yeah.
You cut me a little slack on that.
Sure, I can see either one of these being there because they're both loaded with talent.
Yeah. I think you can flip flop those. There's a lot of places in this top 10, this Friday main event top 10. I think you could probably flip flop. That's probably the case for most people's top 10. But I like Crockett at 8. At number 9, some people may see this as a bit of a stretch, but I think the quarterback spot is one thing that kind of swayed me to this pick. And that's Page. We got Page at number 9, the Region 5 champs from last year. Returning 5 starters back on offense, 6 on defense. Lee, you and I, we really like Cade Walker and like the way he throws the ball.
I do too. I kind of got Page as one of my dark horse teams in 5A anyway because I think they're very underrated. Cade Walker is the real deal, and then when you get Bubba Johnson back, that's a big 1-2 punch.
Yep.
And their kicking game, that's one thing about Page that's always very good, their kicking game. And that can win you some ball games,
That's
man.
right.
They played Beach to 7 last year in the second round. I like Page.
And Chase Tidmore, the kicker you're talking about, he was a preseason All-State candidate. So, you get in them close 1-2 point games, and having somebody that can kick that 45-yard field goal is a huge advantage for Coach Rathbone. I like Page in the top 10. Like I say, some may see that as a reach, but I think they're a legit top 10 team.
I think so.
Lee Teat, this 10th place team, and I'm going to catch a lot of flack about this because I've already caught a lot of flack about it. Fulton, Fulton lost practically everybody. They've got 4 back on offense, 3 on defense. They were 10-2 last year, and they are led by Rob Black. So anytime you put in a Rob Black coach team in your top 10, I don't think you can catch too much, but people give much of a hard time over that.
Well, the thing about Coach Black is his schedule this year. He's Knox Central, at Austin East, and at Maryville. That'll get a lot of those young kids that, like you said, that he lost so many seniors, but the ones that are returning at that schedule right there will get them ready in a hurry, buddy.
You'll get some big-time experience, aren't you?
Yep, and I think Coach Black is one of the best in the business. I enjoy every time we get to talk to him. I just enjoy talking to Coach Black.
I do too.
Good dude.
And that's one of the many coaches. If you tune into our show every week, you're going to get a chance to hear. And Rob Black, very entertaining, very he knows the game of football. He's fun to listen to, and we have a lot of respect for him, don't we, Lee?
I do. So I like him there at the 10.
Yep, that's the Falcons. All right, so that's the Friday main event, Class 5A top 10, Lee. There were a number of teams in this classification, as we talked about, Lee, in our region rundown, that we could have made a case for putting in our top 10, maybe more so than some of the previous classes. I like Gallatin. I think Gallatin is going to be much better under Brad Watson. I could potentially see them, finishing very high as possibly winning that region. I mean, they're in that region with Beach and Hillsboro, so they got a tough road to hoe, but they're going to be improved. I do believe that.
They'll be much improved. I like them on the defensive side of the ball.
I do.
Then you got Shelbyville, man.
Shelbyville.
Hey, I got some good Caleb Marsh. I really like how he runs the football. And then Gary Smith, probably one of the best offensive linemen in the state coming back. I like them.
Summit, another team. Kirby, Ridgeway, Knoxville West, we really like them, Lee, but again, they're in that really tough Region 3.
Yep.
If they were in another region, I'd like them possibly to win it, but we got them fourth in that region, ironically. But I think they're top 10 worthy from a talent standpoint. Saudi Daisy, another team that we just didn't have a spot to put them in. Boone, Ray County, Scott Cummings, Knoxville Hall's team. I think they're going to be better. So there's a lot of teams, in that 8 to 15 spot lead that we could have put in our top 10. But that's the way we got it, and we feel comfortable with it. And we hope you guys enjoyed our Friday main event Class 5A top 10. As always, Lee, we are sponsored by CoachT.com. We appreciate Coach T jumping on with us again this year. We hope you guys enjoyed our Class 5A 3-Series video. If you haven't, we'd appreciate you hitting that subscribe button down there and hitting the like button on the video.
Yep.
But, Lee, that's going to wrap it up for Class 5A. I'm Mike Molder, and he's Lee Teat, and this is the Friday main event.